Hi everyone, welcome back to Brain Dump, a show where I talk about what's in my brain because my mom had some constructive criticism for my podcast and now I'm really embarrassed because I've been saying what's on my brain. That doesn't make any sense. On my mind would make sense, but it's in my brain. We're gonna change that now because I feel dumb. Continuing on, I'm your host, Kai McAlvin. Today was my first day off work in like 6 days. Needed it. I went to Starbucks and I wrote the outline for this episode, and then I read some Twilight. My day's been great, honestly. Loved today. Oh, and then I went to the gym. Highlight of my day. And I got a grilled chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A because I wanted to treat myself. Alright, so I feel behind in life a lot. I finished high school last May, and I feel like a lot of my peers that I graduated with are doing these extravagant things with their lives. You know, going partying, traveling, and then all while taking like 10 college classes. How the fuck do they afford all of that? I don't know, I feel like every day as an adult I become more and more aware of the expenses of life. I grew up in a home that wasn't financially stable. There was a period in my childhood where we had to live off of food stamps, and that's not fun. Obviously, I was so little. Maybe next time my mom comes on the podcast, I'll have her talk about it. I still live at home, and I truly don't know how people move out. There's just so many things, like my car payment, therapy, medication, school, gas, and just like paying for things that I enjoy. The gym. I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to add rent on top of all that. And you know, I work full time. I've worked my ass off since I was 15, and I still find myself broke after I get my paycheck because I have to pay all the bills. It's like, yay, I got paid! But then I have $25 for the week. I wind up not being able to do anything extra that I enjoy because life is so damn expensive. I'm also saving right now, but you know, that's a slow process. Financials have been a big reason why I feel so behind. And I know money can't buy happiness, but I truly do think that if I was more fortunate to have a higher income, I'd be able to do so many more things. I know that everyone's timing's different, but my mind always assumes that people are going to accomplish things faster than me. I took a gap year, so I already feel like a year behind, and I'm a year behind in college, but in reality, who the fuck cares? I was thinking about that today. People start college at different points in their lives. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it that way before, because it's never too late to go to school. I don't know, everyone is so focused on themselves and what they're doing to get farther in life that nobody's really paying attention to where you're at. Of course, people are going to want what's best for you, and if you're trying, you're doing enough. Because I always feel so behind, I rush with everything. I don't know why, but I act on things as if it's a task that I have to complete right then and there. It's like I'm living in fast motion, just waiting for what's next, which is why I've always had a hard time being present in the moment. I've gotten better at it recently, but there's been times in my past where I didn't even enjoy a really special memory because I was so stressed about what was next. Let me think of an example. Oh, say I have a doctor's appointment or something at 4 p.m. I cannot do anything until that appointment. If I were, I'd be constantly looking at the clock and just anxious. Same with work. When I used to have shifts later in the day, I would force myself to stay home, and I missed out on hanging out with friends. Even if they'd ask me at like 11 a.m., I'd be like, sorry, I don't have... Sorry. My mom just texted me Pablo was biting my earlobes. What? Hello? Okay. I'm gonna ignore that text. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'd be like, sorry, I have a shift at 5 p.m. I can't. I look at that now and I just see it as wasting my days. Since I stopped living with those limits on myself, I feel like I get more done. As soon as I graduated, I saw all these people in my life going in different directions, and I had a hard time finding where I wanted to go. So I took a gap year and I worked at my old high school, which is so Paxton Hall Yoshida core. If you guys haven't watched the new season of Never Have I Ever, it's really good. Please watch it. You know, you're used to seeing the same kids every day for 12 years and suddenly they're all doing different things, and it's just not as simple as sitting in 4 classes every day without responsibilities. I see other people achieve a certain level of success, and I beat myself up over it, but I've had to learn to not compare my journey to somebody else's. I feel like society has this expectation that once you're in your 20s and out of school, you'll get a big boy job and work until you die. No time for trial and error. People assume that if you're not directly following that path, then you're just a lowlife or you're lazy. That feeling of not measuring up makes me, in a way, feel less than, and I overcompensate for that by pushing myself to the absolute limit. I'm always trying to get ahead and never focusing on what I'm actually doing. And I'm trying so hard, guys. It's hard. It's really fucking hard. I don't know. People put so much pressure on your 20s, like you have to be getting an education and a salary paying job and your own place, but a lot of that is simply impossible. You know, especially in the state of the economy right now, we're on the verge of a recession. I don't know, this may sound crazy, but I feel like my mind was asleep for so long, just going through the motions, but once I realized that and actually saw what I was doing, I knew I didn't want my life to look like that, just coasting by. And I don't want to see happiness as this mundane thing. You know, that's why I see so much value in having bad days. They're needed to make that happiness exist. General psychology has proved that the human brain has a negative bias. It makes sense. I'm always so focused on the dangers and things that could harm me, so I hold myself back in hopes to avoid any of that. I don't know, those negative thoughts wind up taking so much space in my brain that there's not much room for anything else, like the good. That's why being present in the moment is important to me because, you know, the happiness might pass me by before I can cling on to it. I don't know about you guys, but I am my own worst enemy. I'll lie to myself all day long to somehow create this false reality in my head of a better life. So, fake it till you make it, I guess. We're all just a bunch of people, and we have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but society on a whole has this expectation that we should know what the fuck we're doing, but none of us do. Even the people that you think have it together, they don't. There's something happening behind the scenes. Everyone's got their own shit going on. I feel like it was such a natural instinct for me to critique myself. A part of letting that go is letting go of what other people think of you. I've always thought I was crazy for this, but I am constantly hyper aware of how I look. No one wants to see my ugly ass hunchback. That's just embarrassing. So when I'm out in public, you best believe my posture is so good. I don't know, just the thought of anyone seeing me doing something that would give me the ick, I'm like, ew, I don't want to be that to someone. I don't want to give them the ick. When I'm in public, I would find myself trying to be this quote-unquote perfect version of myself, but I feel like when I was in public, it felt like I was constantly putting on an act, and that shit gets exhausting quick. Since, you know, trying to live as my authentic self, I noticed that my social battery lasts a lot longer because I'm not faking anything anymore. And it feels really damn good. I turned 20 this year, which is so weird because what the fuck? I'm about to enter my 20s? When I was younger, I looked at 20 as a successful adult who already found the love of their life and a dream job. Sadly, no to either of those. Obviously, I was a kid and didn't know that that's literally impossible at this age. I feel like we all feel a little bad for our inner child when we don't experience something we've been looking forward to for years. I don't know, like I've somehow disappointed myself. Avon is the sponsor for today, and I cannot tell you how many times I've ordered from this site. I'm a sucker for some skincare. Like, I cannot get enough, and Avon.com comes through with its products. They have an assortment of selections on their site, such as makeup, fragrance, home, jewelry, hair care, and wellness. Go to avon.com/repstore/kmcalvin for a 10% discount on your first purchase. They're having all sorts of discounts right now, and even a giveaway that contains a skincare basket at the value of $548. I might just enter. I think I'm going to right now. Again, that's avon.com/repstore/kmcalvin for 10% off your first purchase. I'm trying to look at it like this. I can't compare my current life to my future because I don't know what's going to happen. I can only compare it to my past self, which has grown so much. And then I say, you know what? I am proud of myself. There's no age limit to achieving anything, but I feel like the way this generation was raised, we're all expecting to reach such great achievements at a super young age. I would disappoint myself by having unreasonable expectations for my life. My 9-year-old self really thought I was going to have a house and be married at 20? So unrealistic, girl. A big part of getting on track rather than feeling behind is having your priorities straight. Like I said, life is what you make of it, so there really is no end goal. If we're not working for something, then no progress is being made. So, priorities are very important. You know, whatever happens, happens. It's life. I'm looking forward to it. Mostly. Thanks for hanging out with me again. I really appreciate all you guys for listening. If you could please follow this podcast on Spotify and rate it 5 stars, that would be greatly appreciated. You don't know how much it helps. Remember that you are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. I'll see you guys later.